Mix It, who's starting to slowly range down the middle. Still a chance. 150 to go. Kalani. Mix It is now reeling it in, and Mix It goes straight past Kalani. A few worrying signs at the 500, but Mix It won it well.
Welcome to Bet Doctor Behind the Curtain. Look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. It is our final Bet Doctor show for the year, Melbourne and Sydney style. John Walter.
Is that my Christmas present?
No, you had your Christmas present during the week.
What's that?
Little Twitter blue with your friend Miles from SEN Track.
I didn't even have a blue. I just threw a jab and ran away and hid back in the cupboard, but it went on for a couple of days.
Geez, you must be bored. Huh? The wet weather up here stifled all golf. So Walt gets himself into a Twitter spat instead of playing golf with me.
For half an hour on one day or something. What are you talking about?
It's ducks and drakes up here. It's bad.
Cracking jokes.
But it's come good. So we're sweet. What about you boys? Final show of the year? How are you?
Final show of the year, yes. Here we are, Scoot. What do we do? 40-something shows for the year. It's been a big effort. Another big effort by you and the Borco and everyone to put it all together. But no, I thought I had a different co-host when I walked in this morning. I was working a long distance. I said, who's that waiting at the front door? And me old John and Nico, what's happened there? He said, got the blow wave and the locks are gone. And Nico, looking good, looking sharp there, mate.
Yeah, I got to the barber and just said, give it a trim, give it a bit of a clean up, and he cut it all off.
He's gone rogue. The barber went rogue on you. Yeah. Oh, gee whiz.
Anyway.
Gone again. Jesus, Nico. Shadow your former self. Mate, I thought you were outstanding there on racing.com, duck to water, and I loved watching you try and keep it all together when TB declared that horse Longhorn or Long Cross, or it was a bloody long shot. It wasn't given much chance, but it didn't really fire a yelp either. But
I love how he sunk the boots in. That was only beaten about a length and a half. TB, it did nothing. That's like the punter. It doesn't matter if it got beat a length and a half. It's done nothing. It was supposed to be a moral.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit chinky first start 1,000 metres, but it was smashing the betting. It was about 280 into evens late.
Moderate race, wasn't it? That's probably why.
Like Scoot was banging on about last week. There's not a lot of depth to a lot of those fields. Yesterday we saw a lot of short price favourites that probably didn't deserve to be that short, but anyway.
Yeah, I did slide into Kanga's DMs.
Here we go.
Yeah, well, I did. And I just wanted to get a bit of clarification just to see, whether I was on the right page or just to clear up some rumour about a couple of different things. And one of them's been the inner Heath track. And obviously there's some course renovations for Caulfield proper and then Sandown. So unlucky timing that it's both happened at once. So that's why we're racing at the Heath this Saturday. And the other one was, and I think you were sort of talking about a bit, whether they're just going to use the Heath for jump outs and trials. And it looks like from Kanga's opinion and the board's opinion of this new reshuffle board is they're going to try and get as many race meetings on the course proper as possible. And I think they're just going to only use the Heath for the jump outs and the trials and emergency type situations as we're doing this week or this Saturday especially. And he also mentioned that the lights were, struggling to find genuine ROI if they install the lights at Caulfield. And he sort of mentioned that other venues are sort of doing it really well and they didn't really find a need to sort of encroach on their space. He also said that he's a little bit upset with some of the programming around racing and he wants midweek racing back up and going. So, and he'd happily have that at Sandown and Caulfield. So
that was your Christmas present?
Well, I've got the lot. I've got everything that we've wanted. I still think it's a little bit of a shame that we totally bin Caulfield Heath, but I guess we have got a lot of tracks exactly like what they've created the Heath to be. Maybe they need to look at something different, like a cutaway rail.
Oh, please don't say those words.
Well, they need to do something because it's just the same as Moonee Valley and all the other leader tracks.
Why did they get rid of the lights? Why no lights?
At Caulfield?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's they've done the sums and it's 30 million, but RV tell them it's 10 million to install them. So there's 20 million difference. I don't know how.
Why would they not want to do it?
The lights.
Surely that's nothing. Like if it's going to cost them, how much do they spend on the mounting yard? They put in the wrong spot. Surely lights are a better investment than that.
Well, this new regime's trying to balance the books and they're trying to save Sandown. So
that's an investment, you would think. Like night racing, you would think is the future, but everyone will hate it, but probably is. Whereas whatever else, you'd think that would be a no-brainer, 30 or 10 or either way.
It'd be night racing on the course proper, wouldn't it? On the normal track.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But either way, you would think a second metro option would be awesome, especially,
Yeah, that's the...
Like when they overkill, when they go the back-to-back meetings at Moonee Valley and whatever, it just seems a bit much, right?
I think a lot of what they've done now is to try and pull back so they can save Sandown. And once they save Sandown and shore their finances, then they can carve off a little piece of Sandown to redevelop for housing, because there's already existing train stations there and they've got so much space at Sandown. They just need to reconfigure it and rezone it a little bit.
Well, he's looking to start fresh, isn't he, Scott? Like also during the week, they announced they've sold that parcel of land for $200 million, which will clear their debt. That's what debt they're in. They can carry the debt because they've got all the assets and the big pokies and this and lots of property developments and that. But he looks like, that $37 million for the inner track and that money on the grandstand and that, he just wants it all paid off. Let's start clean balance. And I'll tell you what, he's, from what you spoke to him, very open talking to you, and then on Felgate or wherever he was talking to yesterday, he's grown on me, that bloke, I tell you, isn't he? Doesn't he call a spade and so what punters and what members want to hear, Nico?
Yeah, he just seems like he has a real passion for the game, and I think you're right. He probably just wants a bit of a clean slate. I think any time they're racing on the Caulfield outer track is probably a good thing for turnover, and a lot of punters love betting there. So, yep, if we can have more meetings there. I think the Heath probably still can stay in play, but it's just whether does it take away meetings from other tracks. It's probably where it has to fit, and it probably is better than some country tracks, and you could run those sort of meetings there, but it's just whether it sort of all fits in with everyone and how that affects the other clubs. But I think it still has a place outside of just trials and jump outs. I don't think it's a bad track. It's just probably not a metro standard track.
The one thing I do like about MRC and then RV in particular, at least they're trying things, they're changing things, and if they don't work, there's discussion and some back and forth, and then they revert and then go in a different direction. Whereas New South Wales, it's just a closed shop. We see again this weekend, it's a $2 million 1600 metre race. So we get the same again. And under the current regime, there's just no changes and there's no discourse or anything.
There's
and
zero transparency.
Your tweet the other day was an absolute pearler. What was that at the mounting yard that they've moved from in front of the grandstand to over near the road? Is that why?
Joel sent us the photos. Yeah, so they moved it from literally in front of the grandstand, which borders the betting ring. Obviously, the betting ring's not what it once was. The tote window's right there. Again, you walk out the front of the members, and it was literally out the front of the members, but the public could access it from the side. You get the perfect look. It was a good size. All the horses could fit. Gary Harley fell over there one day and got dragged. It was hilarious. They'd walk up the front so you could see them walk in from the stalls. You could do everything from there. Now they've moved it further away, so on the far side of the members, so you can't really see from the front. They've put just like a little grass section there, and it's literally bordering. It's not a main road. It's not like a highway, but it is a main artery that it joins off it. And you can imagine sort of 3 o'clock, and usually they race there Friday afternoon, Sunday.
Was it Gosford or Wyong?
Gosford.
Yeah. And
it's like the walking of the horses is like 2 meters off the boundary fence there, so they're going to beef the fence up. But what's that going to do? Like a couple of people honk horns, yell out, people on the street. It's just, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. Plus, how does it make sense from a punter's point of view to not be able to, have it front and center rather than, and it's on a downhill side hill slope too, which I don't really love either. Rather than just having, it just doesn't seem like it's designed by anyone with racing at heart.
The other funny one I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it looked like, and I'm not sure of how much free space they've got at Scone, but it's good to see that they're actually finally building more boxes out at Scone. But
the double tuckers,
they're not making 2-story horse stables. Surely the top's for feed, not for horse.
It's the biggest joint you've ever seen. Like there's that much land there. It's insane. It was supposed to be completed 2 or 3 years ago. Now all of a sudden you say they're doing all sorts of weird and wonderfuls. It's pretty weird what's going on out there. It was supposed to be the hub for racing. They had the TAFE there. I think they bought the TAFE to, I don't know if that's completely defunct, but last I heard it was in very bad shape. They're 2-3 years behind, and now Annabelle's got the boxes there when Steve Jones was gone. Apparently she's been promised a lot more. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But I also know that, a lot of the smaller trainers and other ones in the area now are pre-training for Annabelle because they can't afford riders and everything since she's come into the area. Wow. So huge changes at Scone and double-decker stables.
Double-decker stables.
What the heck,
Well, I can imagine that at Hong Kong or over in China. But it does seem a bit of a lofty thing to do. The hyperbaric chamber could be up on the second floor. That's where the magic might happen.
Could be. Could we get one too? At all sorts of weird. Maybe the New South Wales. The worst thing is that everything does seem zero transparency, zero explanation.
Yeah.
It's my way or the highway. Whoever's making the decisions, and no one really ever understands what's going on or why.
It's a bizarre place.
Yeah, which is why Kangaroo is a breath of fresh air, even for a non-Mexican looking in.
This festive season, make sure you don't get up to any hijinks. It's been a week for it. W. Pike off his e-scooter with one of his kids is a beauty. He's got a broken wrist, so he's out for, I'd say, 6 to 8 weeks at least. And then you got James Orman with his finger bitten off by the horse. And the best thing I liked about this, which is horrible, but it's the cherry on top. When you're running bad, you just go awful. He's got to the hospital. The fire alarm's gone off because they actually saved the tip of his finger because it was still in his riding glove. And the fire alarm for the hospital goes off, so they have to push surgery back a day, so he loses the tip of his finger with the fire alarm. Every punter could understand that. Once you back, you have like a missed photo finish, a horse gets checked, and then, something else happens and you just do your chiminder. So when you're hot, and when you're not, you're ordinary, DK.
I read something this morning, said something like he's getting the tip of his fingernail or something. They'll have a tip of it. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, there's the photo of the finger, and then there's the photo of the tip. I mean, don't worry about it. We saw a whole shooting match, but I was just saying there'll be Pike. There'll be some far-reaching consequences for Pike as far as turnover goes on WA racing. I would have thought. I'd love to see the turnover decline in the next 8 weeks with Pike and not riding. I tell you what, because I don't care what people say. I know Pike in the last and all that business, but they tune into Pike, the punters. Don't worry about that. God knows how much turnover goes down with him not riding.
What about J-Mac in Sydney?
What about him? Not being there.
Turnover.
True.
Well, I don't know how you can bet on 90% of the races anyway, so it doesn't matter whether he's in or not. But probably they gravitate towards him heavily. So you'd be 1,000,000% right. And he's not alone. We've lost Bowman, we've lost J-Mac for a while, we'll have Dulles over there. There's quite a few away over the next few weeks. It certainly is difficult.
Tab and pickle punters, we've learnt this week, just back jockeys.
Speaking of jockeys, that's right, Scoot. Any alluding into that?
Jockeys only. Holy cow.
Oh, last week, speaking of jockeys, yes, DK, Theo Ladd on Mix It.
Oh?
And wow, the Hail Mary double, the bull ant, on like a Calyx. Once he got to the top of the straight, Nico, wow, it was over, but how's behind the barriers when it just leapt in the air?
Yeah, I was thinking, we're off here. When it absolutely went nuts in the gates, but good horse, got the job done, probably one worth following, and your horse, DK, was probably a bit similar, probably 800 hours, so he's in a bit of a tricky spot.
Well, a very tricky spot, and up on my perspective, and very tight at about the 500, Nico, but I knew he'd be strong. So I knew he'd be strong and just keep at him because he wants 2,000. That was the only probably issue in hindsight. Staying at a mile, probably ideally wanted further, but his strength shone through late, and he'll, I know he's a slow maturing stay, but he will win a 1.5 mile race in town in time, I'm sure of it.
And a couple of final legs there with the short price multis, Walt with his sweet spot with Shangri-La Spring and Aleppo Pine. It might be one of the ones to follow in the blue for you, Nico. It looks like a horse going place.
What was the betting going on there? It was really weird, wasn't it? It was just they backed that thing that, it was pretty steady on debut. Scared the crap out of me. I don't know about you, Nico, probably because you were there. Maybe it was easier, but
it was on the
boys' got back out at 2-1 late. I was thinking you're not going to finish the course, and then
it was weird. I sort of sent it out. It was in the morning. It was about 2:30, and then I looked. It was 280, 290, and then it sort of come back in. So I think he's a smart horse. There hasn't been too many 2-year-olds in Victoria at the moment that are really sticking their hand up from Blue Diamond point of view or anything like that. But I think he might be one of them, just off the style of that win.
Plenty of style about that one. 110% markets are on ice until Magic Millions week. So just looking at the schedule, so that'll be
coming quick.
Yeah, it's
only
going
4 weeks or 5 weeks.
I think it's about the 9th or 10th of January. So they'll be back on board. We'll still have the Bris Vegas show, but I think we'll be in the paddock till about the 6th of February. I think. I don't.
We missed the Magic Millions.
Well, we've got the Brisbane show. You can come and do an episode if you want. You can do some extra.
Geez, times have changed. Times have changed, Walt, since the balcony at bloody Burley Heads and all that.
We used to be out in the back. Yeah, exactly. Mate. We were the stars. Now we're the
no Magic Millions this year, unfortunately. I'm a scratching. Very disappointing.
Mate, the biggest event is the Wednesday night at Magic Millions. Jai Pattaya. It's a big title fight. This bloke goes like a thrasher machine. You're going?
I'm going. I've never heard of him, but we'll have a look.
So if you're going to go to Magic Millions, make sure you book in the fight on the Wednesday. It's opposite the casino. It will be unbelievable. Today's show, Caulfield Heath. So Nico magically has found 2 bets. I couldn't find any. Walt, you've got Randwick. You've got the Ingham chicken. Love them. And then you've got another Black Booker. DK's going to go to Geelong on Friday. No surprise. I'm going to do the Gold Rush. Sort of getting a bit horny for the Gold Rush. And TopSport Steamers with terrible. They need a big finale. I think they got a couple of placings. I think one was that Schroeder's mistake. A few people would have fell into that one, and it looked home, and it just absolutely fell in a hole late. Friday, Geelong is race 4, the Canadian Club Classic 3-year-old maiden, 1343 metres. No price at TopSport yet. The horse we like here, though, is Angel of Sea, or DK likes it. Lindsay Park, white and green.
It's in the old Colin McKenna colours here. It did actually, his share didn't go through the sale. It got withdrawn, so I assume the ownership group now just whacked it up. Out the back here, just rode it quiet. It takes a while to wind up on this sort of tightish track. About the 150 here starts to really lengthen. So basically didn't participate to the last bit here, but nice and strong late, which is what I like to see on their first go. This is box ticking stuff for me. Second up in trip. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about jockeys, but the first thing I did, I was bruising these mains, and Craig Williams is going to Geelong. Very important jockey. I wouldn't entertain this with a lot lesser jockeys, but very important to have the right jockey on Walt, isn't it? Especially bloke like Group 1 jockey going to Geelong for 2 rides before he goes to Moonee Valley. Piqued my interest. So Craig going on this gets a jock upgrade from C. Gaudray. He gets draws well. He can get out of the gates. It looks progressive. It basically did that first up what it did in its trial. Sort of got back and zoomed home nicely late. So it's done that twice up in trip. Nice spacious track will help it. It'll go better on the bigger track. So, my MO, I love, his second up, map positive, jockey positive, all leads roads to DK's MO that. What else is in the race? Spillane. So Spillane's is similar. It's second up, but it's got our friend Safi Osborne, Nico. Safi's been on the bench since she got, suspended at about her 6th ride, didn't she? Tried to knock someone over.
The field at Cranbourne.
Knocked down half the field. But anyway, she's had 32 rides at the trial since, so she's kept in good shape. Mars, she's got a stack of good rides over today and the weekend, so there's obviously a very high opinion of her out there. Even G. Beggs found her. He's found her here. But this has drawn barrier 10 and did have a suck run up the inside last start, so it's got 10 and her on it. I was happy to be with the one with Craig, more map positive. The stablemate is an interesting horse, Cinch. He looks like he's got a bit of raw talent, the Hazes, but raw being the operative word, looks very raw. So good talent, but quite raw and green. And the other one that piqued my interest was Suntora, the Nick Ryan thing. But I did say recently these Nick Ryan maidens first uppers debuts are sort of not really going like they used to. This ran in the 3-year-old race, Gibson Carmichael and Biley back in June, July. Over further. So this looks at the bottom of its distance range. Having said that, it's two trials, recent trials been pretty sharp. So I'd sort of have it second pick, but it is resuming, and I always like the one with the run under its belt. So Craig Williams going to Geelong on a Friday. He's got one in the following race too, Siege Perilous. If it had drawn a gate on, nearly might have swung for it. It's drawn the car park, unfortunately. I don't know what he's going to do on it. But 2 rides, C. Williams, but this is the one with the good draw, and I think it will be hard to beat. Nico, did you have a quick look at that race?
I had a quick look, and I thought she was the one. Given half a buy first up, really. Was short in the market and was given no chance. So you'd think have to improve with Willow going on. There was a few other things. I think we're going to learn with Safi Osborne in the next 2 days whether she's backable or not. We've seen her ride a few good rides and then a few others where a bit questionable. But the next 2 days where she's on Warney on Saturday, she's got a few good rides across the other program, across the other rides at Caulfield.
She's on about 4 or 5 favourites already in the early race. She's going to ride winners somewhere, isn't she? At some stage. So.
If they all get beat, maybe there's an angle to be against her, but I imagine she probably gets 1 or 2 home.
She's a try by the look of her. Geelong race 4, number 5, Angel of the Sea. So in those new colours. So not the McKenna colours, in the Lindsay Park colours. And then DK's thrown that other one out there. Geelong 5, 6, Siege Perilous, but got barrier 12. But Anthony and Sam Freeman train that one, so maybe one to keep tabs on and see if the market loves it. Caulfield Heath on Saturday, and race 2 is the race that you're going to have a look at here, Nico. You're playing very, very, very close to home, and I think if we had a look at your record close to home, it probably wouldn't be too bad. So you're the punter's pal when you've got one that you like, and it's Flying Mickey, $4.60. D. Noonan, the trainer, in the Noonan and blue. Rivkin's a second pick here, $5. Holler Amigo, $7.50. Bolt Saver, $9.50. Thalis, $9.50. Impressive Enough, $11. Fearless Rider, the same quote. And then you got Along the River Attain at $14, a much, much better the rest. Let's have a look at Flying Mickey in the blue at the Valley.
Yeah, Zoo Sensation just kind of got away from him. Jack said if he had probably given him a squeeze early and tried to sell in front of that horse, he would have finished a lot closer. Very strong to line here. This was a 78. Zoo Sensation goes to the later race in the day in the 84 as favourite. We come back to a benchmark 70. Tom Preble takes off the 3 kilos, so gets him with 60 kilos. Should have won first up at Mornington, just didn't have a lot of luck there. Went to Moe and beat DK, who's in third there, beat him at Moe just and didn't handle the track conditions on that occasion. Then went to that race off, had a little bit of a setback, but didn't miss any work. So improved from that run. Again, didn't have a whole lot of luck there. I think 1400 is where we're really going to see the best of this horse. He's definitely the best horse in our stable. Dad's got a big opinion of him. This has been a bit of a set play to get to the Aspirant race. These races are for trainers that have had less than 5 winners in the Metros at the last year. So there's not a lot of depth here in terms of opposition. So back from the 78 to the 70. The Heath track's the only worry. I think if all things are equal, he's the best horse in the race. There's no doubt about that. But it's just how the track sort of races on Saturday. He's drawn wide. He'll probably be back in the field. I think he's a good horse, so he may be able to overcome a potential bias given his opposition. Looking at that, Rivkin's a 1,000-metre horse. Holler Amigo's first up. Tireless, the 4th pick in the market, ran in a 64 that night when we were on a 78. So his form lines are just stronger than his opposition. He's going to need a little bit of luck from the draw and an apprentice rider on it, probably the Knox, but $4.80. Like, this horse is a much better horse than a benchmark 70 horse. And if all things are equal, I think he should be getting the job done.
Found the nice race for him, so a little bit of a T&C on the conditions of the race. I love that. DK?
Big Dave, that's it. But this is a success story for tried horses. It was his feet, wasn't it, Nico? That was his go. He's always had talent, but obviously they couldn't get his feet right.
So he was with the same trainer. I forgot his name. Is it Hulme, the guy that trains Far Too Easy?
Is it McCollum?
Oh, that's Dave
McCollum.
Yeah. So he was with him and they sort of just couldn't get his feet right. So they put him through the sale and then we sort of haven't had any dramas with his feet. And yeah, he seems like he's absolutely thriving in everything he does. So you won't miss him in the yard. He's a nice black horse. He really stands out. So yeah, he's definitely the best horse in our stable and he's been set for the race. So I think 480 is a very generous price given his ability.
You knocked me off at Moe that day. I think I took $10 DK after a bit of a smashing run, and that form with around DK was absolutely white hot at the moment. So yeah, that looks spot on to me, Nico. That price won't be lasting.
Oh, it may. There might be a few sort of syndicates out there and the like that might take on the connections.
Does he need strong riding, or just Jack didn't miss him there with the left?
Yeah, we're probably just hoping he's too good on Saturday.
Yeah.
He's carrying 63. He probably wasn't the place, so we had to claim and he's a long way down in grades, so hopefully too good.
Good luck with that one on Saturday. I'm not sure what to make of the next tip. Race 10, just using the same homework, just spewing it back out. Zoo Sensation, $3.60. That's a horse you like. Inhibition's $5. Helix, $5.50. Why Worry, $7.50. Randwick, $8. And then Christilly is $14. And start to get pretty long the rest. But Zoo Sensation, we'll really play again. We'll go through the same sort of process here. And, Flying Mickey was a good run here, but Zoo Sensation, far too good, streets them.
Yeah, and he was smashing the betting. I think he's come back a better horse this campaign. He won second up last start at Kyneton, and then he's always been a horse I've had a bit of time from the yard. He just seemed like he'd always get to a good level, and I think this campaign he's really put it together, just absolutely dominates here late. Obviously, Mickey's going to be a good form reference early in the day. DK was flying, had Anilla, Ranting, they're sort of thereabouts. So it's a similar sort of race where there doesn't look a whole lot of depth. You got him as the favourite. Inhibitions brings in the Sydney form, but she never wins. She's hard to catch, but she is racing very consistently. But I think Zoo Sensation, off the trajectory of this campaign, I think he's just going to keep rising through the grades. And I think he's a horse that can probably get to sort of open class level in the summer. Ben Allen is riding very well for these, and especially for these connections for Corsons and Larkins. So I think he's just a horse that's going to continue to rise through the grades. You're going to get a bit of a franking on the form earlier in the card, and Inhibitions is your main danger, who needs a lot of luck to win, drawn out. So yeah, I thought he just definitely deserved to be favourite. It's a tough card. Like, I was going to tip Warney, but it's got our girl Safi on $2.30. They didn't miss him. There's a few others they just didn't miss. I thought there was probably a little bit of value in these two's prices. So happy to lean with that form on.
Thoughts on Helix, McDonald, Clinton?
Yeah, he's sort of trending the right way, Helix. I think he's a 1,400 metre horse, so I'm happy to sort of wait till he gets to Flemington over 1,400.
No rider declared. Even though the last time they did this, you know what happened.
Yeah,
that wasn't a first starter. And this is because Mellum's on holiday. And I don't know who they're going to get to ride 54. But because he's only got the 54 kilos here. What about Randwick? I see Randwick. I know Randwick's had a lot of issues over its career, but geez, at 52 and a half here, I thought it might be able to park behind a pretty solid tempo, Nico.
Yeah, he sort of looks a bit in play, but again, same night, he won the 64 and Zoo Sensations won the 78. So it's a bit of a rise in grade coming into an 84, but he does look well placed, getting below the minimum. And it is a time where the apprentices can sort of get a bit of a go along in Melbourne, and Dakota's she's a bit hit and miss, but when she gets on a front runner, she's all right.
And with the Mars relocating down here, the best named horse in Australia turns up in this race. First up down here, Victoria Boys, one of yours. The old R&T. He's down here, first up.
Getting closer to you.
Getting closer to you. I did see one at Ipswich called Love and Rockets, named after the it's like the kittens of the north up here. I'm told. I haven't been.
So you're told, yes, I'll believe, yeah.
Keen to have a look.
There's a big sign on the highway on the way up past Logan there. I see it.
What's that? Love and Rockets.
Yeah, and there's another one, or like Honeybee or Bumblebee or some bloody thing. Okay, too good.
Sounds like a lads' weekend. Can't wait. All right, so that's race 10, number 7, Zoo Sensation. So good luck to Nico with his horse, and hopefully get the double there. Randwick, it's the Ingham. It's the $2 million zillion Ingham, and it's race number 8 on the card, 1,600 metres. It's a quality. Gringotts is the favourite. They absolutely steamed it last start, went straight to the front and won on that funny Kembla day. $4 favourite, Private Eye. They went forward, and lo and behold, they won the race. I wonder what Natcher's going to do from barrier 14 this time. 850, I'm in to win, 950. Port Lockroy 10, Tarby Time 12, New Energy 14, Estadio Mistella 14, and then you got Poison Chalice 17, Stapati 18, 20 Waterford, and then everything sort of 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. This race is either very simple or very hard. The majority of horses are coming through 2 big races here at the Gong. This is the first one that Gringotts won, and then the second replay we'll show you is the Festival Stakes.
She really trying to pad the show up.
You were bullish, Gringotts, this day.
Yeah.
Today, that day.
That day, yeah. But there was a different setup, like 3 Mar horses all going to control the speed. The way the track turned out, that was the day everything was on fire. So, but it has held up. I'm in to win. Sort of a few horses that race forward have come out and run well again. It's not as if it was, fake form.
Fake news.
But yeah, he's sort of said I'm tweeting my backside off. He's a very consistent horse.
This is Private Eye going forward, and you got, I think it's Isaiah there. You got Sadaki running on.
Is it Mighty Ulysses up the fence? There's a lot of the horses here running again. But again, it was ridden to advantage. I don't know whether Joe Pride was taking the piss or not, but the stewards never even questioned the horse being ridden forward. And I think Joe said that Nash told him before the race he was going to take it back and go to the outside fence. So I don't know whether he was cracking a joke, which was, if he did, it was a good one. But that's Sadaki running into third, but he sort of crushed him there.
The other bit's a different form. Impressive. I'm in to wins third in the market. It bolted in on a heavy track. It's a heavy track, but it's got barrier 22. You got Port Lockroy, who what did he win? The Railway. You got Tarby Time. You got New Energy, who came down and got the 12 out of 10 from Marky Zara. Estadio Mistella's flying. You got Poison Chalice, who's had not bad Melbourne form. We just saw Stapati.
Spangler went like a rocket first up.
Yeah, this is
30 or 40 to 1.
It's a bit of a headache, this one. It's going to be a different scenario because it's going to be dry track.
And the problem is it's $2 million. So that sort of makes the decision for a lot of stables to run. It's not as if they've targeted. I wouldn't think there'd be one horse in the race that's targeted it and it's worth $2 million. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So Gringotts 5th up. He's got no reason not to run well. Private Eyes 27th up, 14 gate 61. Does he get across? Probably does. Winnie will probably cast him over. So I don't think I'm in to win was planned to run here, but just in such good form, backing up off the heavy track run, $2 million. You've got to basically run. So Tim to Winona is probably not ideal. Port Lockroy's gone to the Nullarbor and back, but draws perfectly. No reason it can't run. It's too hard for me, to be completely honest. Just way too hard. I can't poke holes in Gringotts apart from the price, but that's kind of fair enough. $9 Private Eye's got to be fair enough. $9 Lockroy's got to be fair enough. $10 I'm in to win if you like. It's just such a deep race, and then you get out to horses like you say, like Zadaki. NCAP was a bit stiff last start. I think Lekvart's a fresh 1,400 metre horse, honestly. So it's probably a horse. Even though I love the horse, I could bet around. Probably sprints down the outside and pisses in. And as I said, sort of Spangler. So, even Uzziah's flying, it's 100s. I don't know if it runs a strong mile, but it's drawn perfect. And And Lions Raw's 100s, and it's a 2,000-metre horse. If they go 100 miles an hour, they could run well. So I literally could make a case for nearly every runner here. Completely impossible for me, but a good spectacle, but $2 million.
It sort of opens up the day for a bit of a quaddie jobby. If you can get the favourite beat or you don't like Gringotts, you can spec a couple of these roughies. Like we sent a little bet out for Zadaki. I thought it could improve. And then there's a couple of horses like down the list, like shocking barrier draw, but Tannhauser could bounce back, and even Spangler I thought went good enough first up.
Yeah. It's just you could probably take both, couldn't you? You could easily just go, one out Gringotts or something, and go super wide and hope. But the problem is the other three legs of the quaddie. You got a 2,400-metre goddamn Christmas Cup with Sea King first up for Matt Dunn. Pardon?
You get Nico to do that.
Yeah, get Nico to do that. So exactly, like floating 2,400. And then you got to back that up with a 27-horse Razor Sharp. Oh, no, the Razor Sharp's not too bad, but the last, I think, the last is our race. So, no, maybe it's a chance. Maybe I'll rethink it. But, yeah, you got to be alive after the first two legs.
All right, you got a horn for the quaddie now. Beautiful. Nico, have you bothered to do this one, or you're too busy at Mornington with your blow wave?
I had a bit of a look at the Ingham. I thought that New Energy could run a race. Thought that he's sort of just trending the right way. He was running in the Group 1s and then won last start. Didn't have stacks of luck at a crucial stage. He probably could have won by further. Poison Chalice has franked that form. So I don't mind Dylan Brown McMonagle. He gets a lot out of these international sort of horses. He's a very strong rider. So, I sort of thought him at $13, given his most recent Randwick mile run was in the King Charles, appealed to me.
18 back to a mile looks perfect too. I agree for it.
I did have a look at, I think I looked at this horse, and I'm just checking punting form. I thought he's stable. They had him listed as Newcastle. Yeah, it does. Seamar Newcastle for New Energy.
Normal.
And I just wanted to know whether New Energy might have been on the float from Caulfield. He might have stopped at Bong. He might have gone into the hyperbaric chamber.
But if he hasn't, he's gone to the Warrnambool Sand Dunes anyway at Newcastle.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the place
imagine
to train.
if you go hyperbaric into the sand dunes. That could be
double banger.
That could be the double banger.
Yeah. I think that's a good little angle with him. I was just a bit I just thought we might have been a little bit flattered on that heavy deck, and then the Zara ride was just too peachy for me. But I love the horse. He's absolutely fine.
But it wasn't easy to ride that track that day. He had to ride it that way to win, so it wasn't ideal to be out the back. So even though it got a good ride, it was still a good win, wasn't it?
Yeah, don't mind a bit of DF. DK, you surprise me sometimes with these big, we'll call it a faux Group 1.
No. I've learned my lesson sticking my head into WA the last 2 weeks, Scoot.
Attrition.
Attrition, how'd it go? 11th? It ran 11th. The week before,
but who won it? But who won it?
Of course.
Yeah, hyperbaric outside leader going like a rocket. Too good.
Yeah, no, I'll stay in my lane, thanks, Scoot.
Okay, I'll just give you the opportunity. Beautiful. Race number 10 is the next one. It's the Saddles at Mount White handicap over 2,100 metres. It sounds
for
like
$3 million.
Yeah, no, this is just a normal race.
$2 million then.
Yeah. So we've got the market here. We've got Eye the Fire, $5 favourite. Your tip from last time, Walt, big win. Jewelry's at $5.50. $9 for Visca. Bit of a Wooler wins $5.50. $9 for Yiska. Silver Nido is $9. Left field $9.50. August Bloom $10. $14 Stromboli. Disney $15. Crafty Eagle $26. Horse we're going to have a look at here that you like is Eye the Fire, going for a hat trick of wins. Here it is in the Annabelle navy with the pink, and you would have been holding your
Jewelry's
testicles.
in the middle there in the Godolphin, does look unlucky. So, yeah, we watched the replay. First up was kind of effortless. Then second up, jumping in trip, was always going to be a bit of a query. Dragged it out, gave it a big task. They did go quick, and the tempo was quick. So, he had his chance to run on due to the tempo, but still thought he was set a monstrous task from the back. It wasn't easy to do that. So, I thought the win again was a little bit hidden. And again, they went up $8.50. So the tab, someone at the tab obviously hates this horse. And he was made to pay first up, and hopefully he's made to pay again here. It is Wooloo wins interesting. Timmy goes on it. I thought it was probably the dangerous horse, but does draw awkwardly, whereas I have the 5 draws 4 this time, and I honestly think it could settle pretty much wherever he wants. I don't think there's, massive tempo. You got the mighty Passaggiata in the race with Shuey, so anything could happen there, but she has been a little bit more passive of late. So hopefully just sort of cruises across there, and I could see either Fire settling sort of third, fourth, fifth, basically wherever they want. I think it could lead if they wanted to, and just about win again. I don't really understand the set against this horse and how it keeps going up big prices. You know, the left field's going to have to come from pretty much last. I don't even have Yiska in the race. Silvanito's first up. It's got to beat these horses first up. Will he win? It's probably going to be at the back too, even though I'm sure Timmy will want to try and have it closer if he can. And Jewelry was a bit unlucky first up, but Jewelry's Jewelry. I think she finds dead ends more often than not. So, yeah, I can't understand why this horse is not going to be in the finish again. I have the Fire. It stands out like dog's balls to me.
Can't add any more to that, Nico?
No, I haven't looked at that race, so nothing from me.
Beautiful. All right, so that's how you play Walt's best bet. So Eye of the Fire, wait and save all your chips till the last race at Randwick and absolutely launch on that one responsibly. So race 10, number 3, Eye
or if you like
the
Trev
Fire.
Lawson, just run multis into it for the next 3 days. Can you believe Big Trev doesn't have multis?
Trev doesn't like multis.
Can anyone explain? I understand, right? 130 into 130 is not good business on paper, but if you like 2 horses,
yeah,
and you expect them to firm, or you think there's value in their prices, how is multing not the same as backing them outright? Or I would love to understand the logic of multis being a bad option for a punter.
Yeah, as long as you keep the legs down, doubles and maybe trebles, but it's a good way to
10 if
slip
you think
some,
they're all value in your own mind, surely.
Yeah, we'll try and go for the lot.
Small outlay. Like I'd rather have $100 on 2 5 to 2 chances that I think are sort of on the limit rather than have 1,000 on each of them. I just like you tell you at 100 at 10's about 2 options you're confident in. It makes more sense to me than betting up on individuals, but each to their own. I just couldn't understand the logic.
DK, you're old school. You siding with Trev on the anti-multi situation, or they've got their moments in time?
Oh, I'd love to. I could take multi. Yeah, I don't mind a multi if I could get on one.
That's the thing, right?
Okay.
That's the thing. And
it
that's
goes
the
with
other
the
thing.
exclusions with the body, all the tote products and all that. They tick no multis. And then if you can with the tote or something, they cap the amount you can have on it. So yeah.
That's what brings turnover down for me more than anything now is that you can't overbet because you can't get on. So, it limits your turnover.
Yeah. Yeah, even I struggle with a few joints to get multis down, which is bad because I'm not the best
Probably
multi
Adelaide.
player.
They probably just cut you off in Adelaide because you're just so deadly there.
I tried to multi one into the bloody memo the other day to win the what do you call it? The
The
2-year-old.
Magic Millions 2-year-old.
Yeah, I didn't really want to back it Wyong, but I thought I'll just try a multi here and just keep hitting dead end. It was sickening.
Looking hollow, the old 2-year-old mates for the Magic Millions at the moment.
Disgusting.
Very horror.
No Donny's best again because Donny's moved to the Bris Vegas show, which is good business. We've got the Gold Edition plate, we've got the low knee, and we've got the Grand Prix Stakes. So the Eagle Farm card, comparably to the Caulfield Heath card, is seriously very, very good because they're all roads lead to the Magic Millions. So it's looking good. Great place, and the fence is going to be off, and I think it's like a heavy 8, but it's going to be probably a good 4 by the time they race at Brizzy. So it should be good betting card.
That was
there.
beautiful last week at Rose Hill when I was telling us it was a good 2 on Friday, and then they watered it, and then there was a heavy 10 by race. Oh, wasn't that fun?
Funny weather. But yeah, last week was roughies everywhere, which was a bit of a surprise. Had the Ned's Gully incident, but that show will be charging right through. So if you still want to watch some of our stuff, make sure Friday's Brisbane show, that'll get you through the quiet period while these boys are on ice. Ascot for me, last week was zip away. They put the blinkers on, but S. Parnham just strangled it. So Stevie strangles Parnham, I'm going to call him. He did it to London's Image the week before, and then he did it to Zip Away. So I'm absolutely cured of him. But the Gold Rush is an interesting race, and I'm sort of liking this series. These features are sucking me in. Same pool of horses, and then different sort of setups, and some sort of train error, jockey error, and just luck and pattern are finding out the results here. But this is 1,400 metres, so even the placement of this race seems a little bit weird because they've gone 12, 16, 18, and now you're back to 1,400 metres. So I'm a sicko. I'm compelled to bet. Western Empire's the favourite, 440. Open $3, now back out to 440. Super Spink 6 into 440. Magnificent Andy $9. Comfort Me 10. Rope them in. Barrier 20, $12. Wind of the Line, $14. So it's the 3-year-old stepping up to the older horses, 21 into 14. And then you got Bustler, 15. Ripcord, 19. off a freshen. Then you got Search and Rocks 19, and then you got Valor Road, Hot Z, Zip Away, Aztec Ruler, Triple Missile, out to sort of 20s or 30s there. A couple of the replays that we're going to have a look at, and again, it's replays that we've seen before. And the first one here is the Winterbottom, and there's a bit of nightmare fuel for some people, but yeah, here it is, Overpass. You got Mahaba, probably the unlucky runner here. And Western Empire is in the orange and the white, and it's just had no luck at all. So I can see why it's come up a short favourite. They're forgiving that run where it only sort of got clear late. But again, I thought it was just entitled to do a little bit more work there to the line. I thought it could have gone a lot better. Here is the horse that I like first up. This is its first up run, and it's Triple Missile. So anyone that's bet in Melbourne before will remember this horse. I think it was with Lindsay, and it's first up in the blue and white, looking for a clear run, and that's Super Smink that just goes right past it. And you think, oh, well, how can this horse Triple Missile turn the tables here? But poor old Triple Missile was fresh, while Super Smink was start 3. So he had a massive fitness edge, and he's only got beaten sort of a length and a half. And this is the railway where Port Lockroy wins. And again, you can see Triple Missile back in the blue and white, and then you got Super Smink back on the inside, and it's sort of one of the unlucky runners here. But have a look at Triple Missile, just still coming across heels here. He just lets rip, and he's in really congested room, so he doesn't let the horse on the outside of him, so he darts back in and goes to the line as good as anything. He's been kept fresh since that run. And remarkably, I think he's come up sort of $31. So from an each way point of view, I think he's a must play, because with all that Super Smink form sort of ties in. They've backed the pants off Super Smink despite him going 1800 in the Northerly, where admittedly he didn't have much luck, but he's had the railway, he's had the 1800 metre run. Now he has to go back to 1400, and Triple Missile's got barrier 7, so he finally draws a gate. Joseph, as a party, can sort of get him in the right sort of spot, and a lot of these horses have just got ranked draws that look half chances, but well fed in the market, like West Empire 15. Super Smink's probably going to map behind us on Triple Missile, so it's got barrier 5, so he's going to need luck as well. Comfort Me looks a chance, barrier 18. Rope Them In looks like a real big chance, barrier 20, so he's out of play as well. Query on a really strong 1400 for a wind in the line. Ripcord looks like a great setup, but he's got barrier 19. A horse that I also give a bit of a push for is Hot Z. I thought Hot Z was absolutely super in the Winterbottom back on the inside, and now it's drawn barrier 1. So if it gets a suck run, 1400 metres is right up its alley, and he's a 7-year-old, and there's no massive stars here, but the two ways I want to play this race is probably Triple Missile each way is my main bet, but I'd probably have a saver on Hot Z at sort of $31 also. So $31 and $7.50 the place out there for Triple Missile is an auto bet job for me. Nico, have you had a look at this one yet, or do you like anything here?
Yeah, I thought that I'm probably just going to stick with Western Empire. Had the SP last start, and he is a horse that I think throughout his career is better outside of horses. He seems to really let rip when he gets to the outside, and he just couldn't do that in the Winterbottom. It was a bit of a car crash. I agree, probably could have done a little bit more, but he suited under the weight for age conditions here. He doesn't have to give away weight to a lot of his key rivals, which he probably would have to do in a handicap. So stick and fat. I think Billy's a good rider for him. Like we see Billy in Victoria DK, he's a balanced rider. He sort of lets horses just build into the race and then get stuck in that last 300, which I think will suit Western Empire.
Similar, he can be the W Pike of Victoria.
Yeah.
Well, he can be like, but he's a lot better now. But gee, a few years ago, he just was cold as, wasn't he? Such a cold rider. No, I might try a different tact here. I've tipped Western Empire ran 9th, Tricia ran 11th. I might back in the run here, whatever lands outside lead, or maybe one where in light infantryman was outside lead. Overpass was outside lead. Port Lockroy's in the one. You've got to be up and out in trouble in these races. So many horses getting strung up and finding all sorts of trouble in these WA races. So I don't know what lands there. I'll see what lands there after the gates open, I think.
Just bang in late. Walt's catching flies up here. He's
I'm going to back whoever's in front with 100 to go. I think that's where you need to be.
How have they found, in all seriousness, how have they found Billy for this horse? What's the connection? I can't really put it together.
Billy Goat. How do you find him?
Where's he plucked?
Is he there to ride something else or just this?
Where have they plucked him from to ride this? Does anyone know?
Don't know where you make the connection there. He does get the job done more often than not on those Paddy Payne horses. So yeah, I think maybe they just thought he'd suit the horse. So I don't know. I don't know if he's got a connection with Grant Alana. I can't remember him riding for them when they were over here. So not sure.
Maybe he doesn't like scooters. He's just like advocate against them or something.
Well, DK, the horse that is possible to map outside leader is Comfort Me. So you got Holly Watson, barrier 18. Horse is going super, but it's an 8-year-old.
8-year-old, okay. All right. That'll do me.
DK.
Try something different.
Mate, I tell you what, at the odds, you could do a lot worse than having something on Comfort Me at sort of $10. But
I'm going to challenge Trev that he's got to find the multi, the winner of the Ingham into the winner of that race. If he gets the mile, send him a free set of steak knives.
You should get a 50% top-up bonus on your div if you can
I'll
get
fly
the double.
down and take him to Flower Drum with DK, or you can eat if you can get the double of those two races.
Cracker. But no, I think the Perth series is great, so hopefully they can get a bit more assistance or cooperation from the Eastern States, because I think it adds something to the overall calendar. I do like it, and despite Pike out, I think they'll have a great Saturday. I think the card looks a little bit better than last week. TopSport early bets. Let's have a look at a couple. This could be Waltz, Randwick Race 7, number 3, and the horse is Sea King, 1,000 at $3.40.
So who trained it? It was obviously a leftover from the Cup.
Harry Eustace.
Harry Eustace.
No, is it Dave Eustace's brother?
Harry had it for like 2 runs though, and there was another bloke that trained it before that. So he's had a few trainers in the last year.
Or a girl.
And then you got to work out why it's gone to Matthew Dunnett.
OTI, because it's an OTI horse. He's
I
got some
understand who owns it, but why are you sending it to Wollumbar?
to take it to the QE2 in Brizzy. That would be the pathway, Brisbane Winter.
Did trial well. Yeah, I can't really knock it, but 2,400 metre camel races are not really my cup of tea. It does. Geez, crikey. It would have to go backwards, wouldn't it, not to be running very well against, Alicant's is just a horse floating 2,400 Cadaver. Mate, you want to jump off a cliff. What about
Nash is a better rider than bloody Holly Doyle for it. At least he'll actually put it in the race. It was a disgrace in the Melbourne Cup. I missed the start.
I don't know what happened. Something happened at the start. Who you Mal 2,000, 1,500, 2,400. That's a lovely preparation. What about it? Jeepers Creepers. And I think Timmy got in trouble because he'd already taken a ride in the race because he didn't realise it was going there. Why would you? It's 2,000, 15, 24. But yeah, good luck if you're on Sea King. Good luck.
340. Yeah, not sure. Be interested to see what the market does with it. But assume off the Melbourne Cup, it should have stacks of residual fitness, so there'll be no issue there. So be interested to see how Nash rides it. Another one for you, Walt. Randwick Race 9, number 6, Moravia, 500 at $5.
Good fresh horse.
Yeah, the gelding's changed it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been up a while though, and it's got the Reginator.
Has it?
Yeah, the Reginator from Inside Draw. Should get its chance. Similar sort of horses that go around against each other all the time. Eagle's Nest was sort of forgotten about last start, went well. Infancy's been up to Melbourne and back. Yeah, it's a dicey race. I think sort of 4-1 the fields probably makes sense. Hedged is a bit shorter, but probably gets out a bit. Jetabil, they're all similar types. So it's a take turns race for mine.
This is a punter's pal, this horse. They just back it. Doesn't matter what race, but it's race 8, number 14, Super Smink. So I think we nearly lay it. They lay it every week.
You?
It just gets hammered every week.
You?
No.
What?
Well, because I've tipped the $31 chance.
You tipped every other horse in the race. I thought you might have had a little saver out wide on it as well.
No, I think my horse at the Ruffy's better, the place. Eagle Farm, race 8, number 4, Orton, 300 at $9.50. That's up against Abounding, the good mare of Robbie Heath.
The other day in that strong race. Yeah.
So, but Orton's got I think they've overcome a few problems with his horse, and I think this is featured or collected a few weeks ago at $7 or $10 as well. So I think this horse is back from the dead, but it needs to be because that's a pretty hot race.
Geez, a few of the usual suspects there too, isn't it? That's a bit of a take turnsy sort of looking race too.
Yeah. But, well, that's a wrap from us. So big thanks to our major sponsors. Obviously, Punting Form, TopSport, RQ, Racing Queensland, Tas Racing.
Love and Rockets.
Hopefully we can get them on board next year. Kittens haven't been there for a while. Probably need to donate there again. And big thanks to you boys in Melbourne, DK and Nico, Borko, Walt, Donnie, everyone that's helped put the show together, Mark in the Melbourne office, anyone that I'm missing, big thanks. But
Happy anniversary to Beck today. We had our usual domestic this morning. I think 8 years married, 16 years together. I sent her a message last night. Anniversary tomorrow with a laughing face, and she went back, OFUCK. So, that pretty much sums up our relationship.
were you in the spare bed?
Yeah. Oh, she quoted that. Oh, wish I had my own room like you. Well, you kind of do, but the kids have access to yours where they don't have access to mine.
Jesus Christ. All right, boys down in Melbourne, any final thoughts or Christmas messages or thanks?
Big thanks to the punters that have tuned in across the year. Hopefully found a few winners. And it doesn't stop, does it, DK? We've got 7 meetings of form to do the next day, so it's crazy.
It's chaos for me. You got Isaac's graduation tonight. I'm into the flower drum with Jared tomorrow, into all these meetings already. Then state swimming championships, 5 days and nights, Saturday to Wednesday. I'll be 15 trips in with Isaac and back and forth to school and in for relays and finals at night, the heats in the morning, plus trying to do the form and find the winner. So plenty happening, but wouldn't have it any other way. Love it.
At least you boys have got Kanga claws down there, whereas we don't even celebrate Christmas in South and North Korea. So you guys have got something to look forward to at least.
We've got Jason Scott up in Queensland. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's
something. Got to start watching the races up here a bit more.
Nico, what about your yard? Obviously, Waltz Racing, which chat won't stop. Vampire watch, we'll call it. But what about Nico's yard for the next couple of days?
We're going to push on to the end of the year and then probably take a break over January. I reckon I'm going on another cruise over January. So same cruise with my girlfriend's family over January. So
wow.
Bit of max pay in there.
Out to Vanuatu again or up the coast?
Yeah, it's off to
South Pacific.
Namia. That's where it's going. So
very good.
Probably be 45
It's a weird old joint
degrees.
from here, but they've just gone through a bit of a civil war. Well, there wasn't war, but had a few problems, but should be all sweet now, Nico.
Hopefully.
Stay on the ship. That's the tip. You'll last 1 hour. 1 hour. You'll get off and you'll get back on the ship.
I do have a jeweler in Collins Street, Nico, too. I just got to figure out if you can do duty-free, go the duty-free rule, because you get it, if you buy it for overseas, you get no tax on it. So
buying jewellery.
I'll slide in your DMs with the...
You're going better than I thought you were, buying jewellery duty-free. Jesus Christ.
What's that?
Another shout out for my, not brother-in-law, so it's the sister-in-law, they're together a while. He's taking on the Filipino family for the first time this Sunday. They're having a Christmas thing with all the Filipino aunties coming, and he hasn't experienced that side of the family yet. And good luck to Jack on Sunday. He's going to need it.
Yeah, glad I'm not hosting Christmas this year, but make sure everyone stays safe. Back plenty of winners, back patiently, a bit patiently as well. So make sure you survive the big break too, because the good horses will come back Magic Millions time, and then they'll be a bit average for a little while. Then Nico's 2-year-olds will start rolling in around Australia Day weekend with all the preludes, previews. But if you need a bit of a rest too, to give yourself a bit of a spell and make sure you enjoy some time with your family and put the gun down for a little bit. But save your bullets for Feb, March, because it'll crank back up when the good horse is back. And sometimes it's easy at that time of year. But
come around quick too.
Well, it'll come around quick. So big thanks from me, and we'll see you soon.